So I think we're just going to get started with the cosplay panel here. My name is Chris Wildrick, and I am a professor of art at Syracuse University and a cosplayer for about 12 years or thereabouts, something like that. So I think our topic for today is getting started and making a positive impact in cosplay. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to just first have my the other panelists introduce themselves, and then we'll just ask questions, and we'll also take questions from the audience. So first, Ben.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Ben Ackley. I am a cosplayer for about 9 years now, and I am also a online content producer who goes by the name of SamAttack4427. I've been doing that for about 15 years now, doing a bunch of videos and stuff, including of course pretty much on my cosplays and vlogging at conventions like the one I'm doing right now for of course this convention and this panel. Also doing a bunch of movie reviews on all that sort of stuff, and yeah, all that good stuff. So yeah.
My name is Heather Laughlin. I'm also CNY's Wonder Woman. I'm a nonprofit organization with an emphasis on my anti-bullying Kindness Matters campaign and self-esteem initiative. I work with local law enforcement, schools, and other nonprofit charities to spread kindness and smiles. And also, it is very important to empower our youth and give them fresh outlook on life and things that they can do to promote a healthy lifestyle.
Thank you. So I think what we want to do, the topic today again is getting started and then making a positive impact with your cosplay. So I think what we can maybe start off with here is the getting started part. And maybe each of us can talk a little bit about how we got into cosplay, what inspires us to do cosplay, and we'll move on to some other questions within that arena first. And again, if people out there have questions, please let us know. We can stop questions anytime. I think, I'm guessing, just looking at the audience, probably have some people who are interested in starting off in cosplay, haven't really done it yet, and people have maybe doing it for a while. So we'll probably have a mix. So I'm 51 years old. When I started getting into like comics in the 80s, cosplay, like comic conventions were basically like going to the local Sheraton and there was like maybe one guy with Spock ears and that was the entirety of cosplay. Like that was all there was. And so like I did not really do anything with cosplay for a long, long time. Then when I went with some of my kids to the Strong Museum of Play in Rochester, and they had a Star Wars day there, just totally coincidentally, and they had about like 100 different characters dressed up in Star Wars characters when I was there. I'd never seen anything like this in my adult life. And it was just amazing. I couldn't believe that people had put these things together on their own, that they were like handmade costumes that looked like they were screen accurate. And it just made me impressed and enthused and made me want to learn how to do that too. Like as an artist, I know how to work with my hands, but I've never done anything of this kind before, so I was essentially like, can I do this? So I started out and made like a stormtrooper costume, and then since then I've been doing just mostly superhero things, a lot of Marvel and DC, I like it for the technical challenge, and then also because a lot of times I like particular characters. We'll talk about those maybe a little bit more, but I like doing really obscure characters. But like this particular costume is a S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform from like one episode of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where they go back in time to the 70s and have like all the characters that are wearing these like comic-inspired costumes that look really, really terrible even on screen. So this is my homage to those really terrible-looking costumes. Ben, how about you?
Well, usually I think from the way I see it, again, I think I only got my start producing videos on YouTube beforehand. I think what really got me into cosplaying in particular is that, well, quite frankly, I think I've been a massively big fan of anime for quite some time now, and wanted to branch on to other things. So back when I actually first started attending conventions well over a decade ago, starting with, of course, a pretty old one you may or may not have heard of called Anime Syracuse. But before all of that, I actually did take a look at several bits of cosplayers online through like bits and pieces of social media and stuff, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and that's just to name a few for the most part. So I think upon looking at that, I was actually looking at myself thinking, yeah, maybe I should probably give this a go, see if I could be good at it or not. And I think pretty much from what I remember, I just don't want to see myself as just a regular old cosplayer in particular. I see myself as just a basic entertainer, to say the least. Probably the main reason for that is that I really want to get my name out there, pretty much in any forms of me, for sure. Like, of course, pretty much when I first started delving into movies in particular, though, one of the key aspects that I want to do is acting. Now, acting is something that I've actually really wanted to pursue all the time. In fact, probably back during my high school days, I actually did a lot of acting in a good number of school musicals that I've actually done for about 5 to 6 years, which was probably the best years I actually had during my time in high school. And when college actually rolled around, I wanted to pursue into filmmaking in particular. That's something I want to pursue. I really want to show that I want to be this basic entertainer that everyone can actually love and recognize. So when I actually did cosplay in particular, I've done a lot of great stuff. Again, ranging from anime in particular, and of course bits and pieces of video games from what I could gather. Like pretty much my very first one that I did was, of course, Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. And then sometime later I delved into my first gender bend cosplay that I did, which is on Sailor Moon. And probably I think what got me into that is mainly I actually took up a lot of sewing from my grandmother, who was sewed a lot of great quilts. So that got me influenced to do some cosplays in particular, whether it be, of course, the ones I would buy myself, or of course, I would actually hand sew for sure. And over time, with each and every single new cosplay that I've put together, I've really experimented on something new that I can actually put in. Like one big example is that I did Barbara from Genshin Impact in many different versions of her that I could think of for sure, whether it be her original outfit, her summertime sparkle outfit, and of course two of my favorites of all time, when I did her Christmas outfit, and probably my all-time favorite is, of course, when I did her as a ballerina, which, I won't lie, is actually a big, massive risk from what I can gather, but that's actually part of the reason why I really do love cosplay in particular. I just don't want to see myself as just a regular old cosplayer in particular. I see myself as just a basic entertainer, just to really get my name out there in particular. And with what I've actually done so far, it has really done the job well. And mixing that with, of course, my YouTube career, it really does show on how much I've grown for about 15 plus years now.
So cosplay was never on my bucket list. As a child, I was severely bullied, pretty much all through elementary, all the way to high school. However, when I was younger, watching all the fabulous TV shows that you just can't recreate right now, Bionic Man, Bionic Woman, sorry, $1 Million Man, and of course there was Wonder Woman, Linda Carter. And when I first saw that first episode, when I was about 5 years old, I was hooked. She was my idol, she was my hero. She was somebody that stood up for other people, for the weak, and she was kind, she was compassionate, she was strong. So, I got me a Wonder Woman bathing suit when I was 7. And I was picked on horribly at camp for wearing a Wonder Woman bathing suit. Fast forward many years later, I am now a mom, a single mom of 5 kids. It was my 15-year-old son that was kind of interested in cosplay, and I thought maybe I could connect with him, we could do something together. So I started researching cosplay when all of a sudden he was like, oh no, I can't do that. I accidentally, just by pure fate, coincidence, came across an organization out of Western New York. I decided to join, and I was going to be Wonder Woman. I am more the Gal Gadot version than the Linda Carter version. So this is from, I really like the Gal Gadot version. She's a warrior. She represents dark and light, which is kind of like me. And from there, I expanded into starting my own organization. It's fully nonprofit. And I love the interaction with children. I also have an education and background as a teacher. I work one-on-one with special education kids. So I have a soft spot for children with ADD, ADHD, autism, anger management issues. I connect very well with those children. And those are the children that are overlooked. They are judged based on their medical condition, not as an individual. We need to break away from that stigma and look at everybody as these unique, creative souls that just sometimes need a little oomph. Someone to come into their life and make it click like a spark. So I became CNY's Wonder Woman. I work with local law enforcement at certain events. I go visit schools, special children in need. And that's how I got started. So I am strictly just Wonder Woman, except when I'm Wonder Mom.
So I think one question then, if we talk about how we get started, is like where did you learn whatever skills you have? You talked a little bit about your grandmother, because I think one thing a lot of people do when they first start getting into cosplay is like, how do you learn how to do all this stuff? Like cosplay involves so many different kinds of physical media, so many kinds of skills. It's sewing, it's leather work, it's foam and plastics, it's metal. It's 3D printing, it's painting, it's makeup and hair and wigs, like so many kinds of things that can be really intimidating for people when they first start out. So I wonder if we could talk about that, and maybe also a little bit about how you've grown. You talked a little bit about that too, but like when you look at say earlier costumes or earlier versions of costumes, how do they look today? Or even like how have you grown as through the performance of cosplay, like how you do your actual performance in like with other people, how you interact with people. I know that when I started, again, I might be an artist, but like the kinds of things we do in cosplay are not the things that I would normally use. So when it came to sewing, my wife luckily is someone who works in fiber arts a lot, so she does a lot of quilting, she sews her own clothes, she does a lot of knitting and things like that. So when I first learned how to sew, I was basically like, Andrea, my wife, can you please teach me everything you know very quickly? And she was very generous and did help me out with those things. We now have, I think, like 4 or 5 sewing machines in our house between mine and hers and one for my kids and an extra random one we just have sitting around that we got at a thrift store and stuff like that. And I have to say that like sewing is not necessarily something that men grow up doing or thinking is an okay kind of thing to do. And I have to say like knowing how to do it, I just feel so much more confident as a human being, honestly. Like there are just so many things that you can do when you know how to sew. It's like just fixing your normal clothes, let alone everything else that you do, that is just a super useful thing. And what's interesting to me is you can really learn a lot about sewing, I think, in like a 15-minute tutorial or something like that. Like 90% of what you know, you need to know, you can learn in that amount of time. And then what I also like about cosplay just as a community is how grassroots and democratic it is, in the sense that like just when people want to teach people how to do something, just like put it up online. You can find how to do pretty much anything on earth on YouTube or on, you know, the RPF, which is a website for cosplayers, or the First Legion websites, or just random cosplayers websites, and they will just explain the most complicated things in the world in a video or on a build thread. And it's just there for you, free to use, because cosplayers, I find, are just so generous to each other and willing to help each other out and bring other people into the hobby, because there might seem like a really steep learning curve, but I think if you put in the effort to find out what other people have out there, you can do it. And so most of what I know how to do now, either I learned from my wife or I learned from the internet, I would say, essentially. And usually, like, the way I learn things is like I choose, I want to do this random costume that appeared in like 2 issues of a comic. Like there's this Moon Knight costume where he has this like magic Egyptian armor, and I just thought it looked cool. I thought I'll just make that, and then I realized, oh, this is really complicated. I have no idea how to do any of these things, and so I had to like learn how to like carve a bird's skull out of foam, for instance, and then how to wrap various like wrappings around so they wouldn't impede my movement, that sort of thing. And I find like for each costume I make, I learn more stuff that I could apply to my new costumes, but my new costumes have entirely different problems that I have to learn how to do. How about you folks?
Well, I think pretty much with what I can gather on my part when it comes to cosplay, it does kind of vary from what I'm actually seeing, and especially with how much I've grown as a cosplayer for sure. In fact, I think I go hands down. I think if you actually want to really get into it, I'm one of those people who actually believes in the old saying, start small and then work your way up. I say that is the #1 key ingredient that you might need if you really want to get into a cosplay in particular. Like one good example, again, I think when I actually first started, I actually use whatever bits of money I actually have to actually buy some cosplays in particular, to which honestly that actually has worked out well. Sometimes you either get some bits and pieces for some parts that you need for your cosplay, like of course either a wig or some boots or shoes or any sort of accessory that you can find, to sometimes buying up the entire cosplay in particular. Yeah, some third-party shops like say Amazon or eBay are willing to help you out, but if you really want some really good quality for the most part, there are several, and I mean several cosplay shops out there that can really help you out. Easy Cosplay, FM Anime, Pro Cosplay, and that's just to name a few. So either way, I think I've actually spent a good chunk of my money, mainly on, of course, buying up cosplays in particular, to which actually does sound nice, but the only downside is that they can be very expensive as well. So quite frankly, yeah, I think chances are your wallet might run dry if you actually spend all of your money on nothing but cosplays and not really anything much else for sure. So I always have to prioritize my budget and everything, and even keep a detailed list, of course, what ones that I have to get next for sure. But when the time comes for me to actually make my own cosplay, that too I can say you might find some great ideas for the most part. Like probably from my experience is that I usually go on over to Joanne Fabrics, which actually does sound nice whenever you want to craft something. But for me, I see that as a really great way to, you know, get inspired to make your own cosplays in particular. Like you would actually see one bit of a fabric that they have on there and be like, yeah, I can definitely work something around this type of material for sure. So either way, I think this is a really good balance from what I can gather for the most part. If you, again, either you want to buy some cosplays online, or of course, you have the courage to design and make your own entirely. And I've actually gone through a whole lot of that throughout my time cosplaying for, again, nearly 9 years now, which is insane, by the way. So either way, it really does I think it's only a matter of prioritizing in a particular, and again, always start small and then work your way up entirely. So either way, if one cosplay turned out great for you, definitely work up your way towards pretty much the next one that you'll do, and some of which actually turned out surprisingly much better than you could have imagined. So either way, I do think it is a really great, pretty much a priority to, prioritize on whether you buy or make your own cosplays in particular. Oh yeah, and probably by the time comes, you actually bring it out to a convention, maybe you might get some great responses for sure, and there are some people that would actually think otherwise, but we do know the old saying, cosplay is not consent, so that too is actually very important from what I can gather. Learn to actually respect other cosplayers when you actually go to a convention, some of which are not very well known, or some of which are actually your heroes, to which I guess I give it to Wonder Woman right next to me. I kind of see what I did there, but either way, I say that is definitely the #1 priority when it comes to cosplaying in particular, and hopefully I think if you really get into that cosplay contest and give it all your best, yeah, sometimes you either win or sometimes you don't. Always remember to take it as a massive accomplishment to really work your way over to the next one.
How have we grown, or where do you learn your skills?
How we've grown, how we've honed our skills. Well, I learned my skills through hard life. And I decided to apply that to a warrior like Wonder Woman. I firmly believe, because I never imagined being in cosplay, there needs to be more cosplay players. There needs to be more people. There is no age limit, no disability. There's so many characters to choose from. I think it's a way of spreading kindness and joy in a world that's very chaotic. Not only that, it kind of helps you to step outside of yourself for a moment. Whatever's going on in your personal life, you put on your costume, you're no longer that person, you're somebody else. You're a persona of someone else. What was I saying? Sorry. How have I grown? It gives you confidence. It really does, because when I first put this on, my kids were like, "You're not going to go out in public like that, are you?" And I was like, "Well, yep." So going out in public, it's very overwhelming. It's intimidating, and you kind of got a fake confidence. But eventually, the more you do it, the more confident you become, and it's not only your confidence, it's the interaction with the crowd, with other people coming up to you. Can I get a photo? Or I really like your organization, or what you're doing, or what you stand for. That's something you can't put a price on, that makes you feel so empowered. And the fact that you have this capability of taking what you've learned, and most of it is just kind of figuring it out on your own. A lot of times you're winging it. When it comes to making costumes, you can make costumes or you can buy costumes. And I agree with Ben, start small. Pick one character and go from there. I personally had my costume designed by someone else because I can sew. I do like crafting. I just don't have a lot of patience. So I had someone else make my costume for me, but again, it's a lot of upkeep, it's a lot of maintenance. The other thing is everything that you've learned you can bestow onto the next generation or someone who wants to get in cosplay. I recommend joining a group. They're a lot of fun. It's a perfect way to start out. And you go to different events and you see if it's kind of your thing. That's why you should start out small. Make sure it's your thing. Try it. And I don't know, everything you learn, you're going to learn from other people. You're going to pick up pieces and figure out for yourself, and then you can kind of share that as you go on. And that's really it.
let's talk about groups a little bit more then, actually, and how we interact with people. Because I mean, you do a lot of like YouTube stuff, like you said, interactive things. You work with a variety of groups. You are your own group, in fact, in a way, your own business, and you were in other ones as well before. So for me, like just talking about community in general, like I agree that like I feel like if you just happen to be dressed like this walking down the street, people are going to look at you a certain way. But when you're in, and like I have done that, like I do a lot of things where I wear cosplay just out in public. I've been in Chile when the streets were really like filled with armed police carrying machine guns. And I was just wearing a stormtrooper costume walking down the street to just sort of see what would happen. And I was not killed, so that was good. But what I think is great is the community you find at a Comic-Con. I think that like the first time I had gone to a con in my sort of modern, much older adult life than when I was a kid, I realized like, oh, everyone is in costume here and I'm not. I actually feel like an outsider, like I'm not fully participating in because I don't have a costume. Like I feel like I needed to get a costume in order to feel like I was really fully doing what you're supposed to be doing at a Comic-Con. And I think that the way that community just makes everyone feel good, whether it's just by compliments or asking for pictures or whatever it is, people just make you feel like what you're doing is a good thing and support you in a lot of ways. But then there's specific groups. So like the group that I work with is the 501st Legion. The 501st Legion is a Star Wars costuming group. It's a charity group. There's also, there's a number of Star Wars groups. There's the Rebel Legion, which is the counterpart of the 501st Legion. There's the Mandalorian Mercs, which are a bounty hunter organization similar to any number of other ones as well. And what I really like about these groups, not only do they have really high standards for their cosplay, but they're also, again, like charity groups first and foremost. And so every time that we show up somewhere, and the 501st will be here tomorrow and all day, we take donations for various causes, and we're really there to promote real-world positive good by getting money donated to people, but then also just making people feel good. Like when people get to take a picture with Darth Vader, for whatever reason, people feel very happy about that, even though he's, you know, a man who in the movies slaughtered lots of people. But if you take a picture with him, it's fun. And I think that the way in which you can spread joy to people, especially kids, but not always those kids, it just really, like you just see the smiles on people's faces when they're like, wow, I never expected to see this thing here and it looks so amazing. My world is bigger than it was before to see you here. And to me, that's like what I really like about it. Just like you're saying, it brings joy to people. So I guess if we can talk more about the specific groups we've worked with, or how you work with the public in general, what you like to do with your online things, the cosplay community in general. I'll switch it to Heather first this time, just so we take different turns.
And then we'll go to that second. Right. So just the groups you work with.
Oh yeah, so how I first got involved with cosplay was through the Justice League of Western New York. They're also another nonprofit organization. So I was with them for a couple of years, but traveling from the Syracuse area to Niagara Falls and Rochester and Buffalo, it really was a lot of wear and tear as far as gas goes and time. Unfortunately, depending on what time an event started, it was basically anywhere from a 2.5 to 3 hour drive for me each way. What was great about it is my kids could get involved and I could bring them. So I branched off from the Justice League and started CNY's Wonder Woman right here because I saw a need for it in our area. I've grown and I'm really proud of that. Again, something I never thought I would get involved in, something I never thought I could do. And the response, like not only talking, like Chris was talking about, interaction with from the public. It's not just the smiles on the kids' faces, but I can tell you how many adults come up and like, oh, can I get a picture with Wonder Woman? I'm like, yeah. So, who's she? I want to meet her. Where's she at?
Totally awesome.
Thank you. You rock too. Thank you.
Yeah, this lovely gentleman in the audience, Ackley, said, hey guys, she's awesome.
Thank you.
No,
There's an angry bunny right there.
Yeah, I think it's overall on the lines of an angry samurai bunny.
Wow, that's a very angry bunny. Okay.
He's a force for good.
Oh, I know he's a force for good, but he looks really angry right now.
Serious.
So, people of the world, get into cosplay. Do it at home. Dress up at home and have fun. Try experimenting with it. Do it for your kids, your grandkids. Do it for yourself. And you know what? I have seen so many people. What's so awesome is to see other people dress up in cosplay and to I know their characters, even like the old ones, because I can't tell you my age, and I'm not going to, but all the way up to the new ones. It's amazing to see so many people out in costumes, and to have the guts and courage to do that is phenomenal. Just get out and do it, and I need people to join me. Join CNY's Wonder Woman. I need some superheroes on my team. So join me. I see you. I see you. Come on. I need, and men, women. It's a nonprofit. I work with kids. If you want to feel amazing, if you're having the most crappiest day ever, go to an event, have kids come up to you, and they don't see you as a mom, as a grandmother, as a relative. They don't care if you've had a bad day. They see you as their superhero. And there is nothing more amazing of a feeling than a little kid coming up to you and going, and that's all they do. And they want to ask you questions, and then I have kids ask me, do I know Superman and Spider-Man and this and that, and it's amazing. So please join, please come to this side, please come to the cosplay side.
That is absolutely incredible, and I am really thrilled by your response. Yeah, and I can definitely side with you on what you actually said. Definitely get yourself out there, get really into cosplay in particular, and I do think there is a whole lot more to that on my part, and I guess as someone who has actually been doing stuff on this online for quite some time now, that too is actually very important from what I can gather. Of course, you can actually try putting up a post on either Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or of course through a video and stuff on either YouTube or TikTok, and that's just to name a few from what I can gather. And trust me, I've actually done a whole hog on my part, especially on my YouTube channel, even for the fact that I have a show now devoted to cosplaying in particular that's been going on for about 3 years now. That too has actually been a massive staple for, of course, my channel for over 15 years now, though technically some parts of it are not technically PG rated, so I'm not going to go in that route, but I say this is actually a really good deal if you really want to go for cosplaying in particular. Really start networking a bit to really get yourself out there, and even and it's not just through social media and stuff. Definitely do the same thing at some much bigger conventions from what I can gather. One good example is, of course, not just the cosplay contest, whether it be to show off your craftsmanship, or you want to performing and stuff. There's actually more to it than that. One good example is that definitely, as Heather stating about joining a cosplay group, one good example is definitely recommend on taking up a cosplay group photo shoot in particular, any cosplays in particular from a particular series or theme or anything in particular. that too I can actually recommend to really get yourself out there. Like one good example is that back in 2018, when I went to Ackley, Boston, over in Boston, Massachusetts, I actually got to participate in a Sailor Moon photo shoot that was actually organized, and I am not joking when I actually said it. I was legitimately the only tuxedo mask cosplayer who's actually showed up to that event. Not only showing off my attempt at tuxedo mask, doing a nice dab, which was quite a long time ago, but hey, someone actually called for me to do that, so I had no other choice. But another thing I can say is that probably the main highlight from what I can gather is that I was surrounded by a bunch of other Sailor Moon and Chibiusa cosplayers literally all around me, and given to that, I was like, man, I seem to be the ladies' man for once. But yeah, that too I can actually recommend, hands down. Definitely join a cosplay group photo shoot in particular that can really get yourself out there in particular. And sometimes when you're actually cosplaying a character from a recognizable brand or a series, maybe on an occasion you might actually get recognized by the people who actually worked in that said series or brand in particular, some of which may actually be your celebrities and heroes for sure. And another key ingredient when it comes to a cosplay, staying on the topic of photo shoots, sometimes you can actually do them at home, or sometimes you can actually hire a photographer and actually go out on location to actually do that. Like another good example is that literally when I actually mentioned my ballerina barber cosplay that I did some time ago, literally I think right around after I actually got done with that cosplay, and even before I actually wore for a convention, I actually decided to take a liberty and actually bring it to an actual dance studio that's actually local to me, to which, I'm not gonna lie, that is what I call commitment, hands down, and to this day is actually one of the most recognizable things I've actually done. I'm really proud on how well that turned out, so really definitely keep that in mind if you really want to pretty much go into a cosplay in particular, really prioritizing showing them off online to gain some followers, or of course showing off for a photo shoot, or as another good example, probably see about making it as like a full-time job or anything. And there's a lot of great recommendations from what I could gather. Sometimes you can actually do it through Patreon, you can do it through PayPal or Ko-fi, or maybe do some live streaming on Twitch. And that's just to name a few from what I can gather on my part. So I think this is actually a really good example of networking a bit if you really want to show off what you got with your cosplays to really help build your audience in particular. And trust me, I've actually done it for several years now, so I think it really does show on how much I really do love this type of medium entirely.
Thank you. We have a little less than 10 minutes to go. I think before, well, like, I have more questions we get asked, but just I want to check, does anybody in the audience have questions for us? If not, then I can just keep asking questions. But no. Okay. So you covered promotion a little bit there, Ben. I wonder, maybe Heather, if you could too, because I do think that one thing people sometimes wonder about is like how you, like, if you want to make yourself sort of like well known as a cosplayer, if you want to get yourself out there. I mean, which by no means do you have to do as a cosplayer. You can just walk around at a Comic-Con and just be perfectly happy. But if you're interested in getting yourself out there and sort of making an identity for yourself, how do you do it? And I have to say, like, I personally suck at that. I don't really do that too much. I have to sort of do some promotion. I run a small Comic-Con at Syracuse University, which you're all welcome to come to. April 7th at Syracuse University. It's free. And we do a lot of cosplay stuff there. So I sort of had to learn how to do promotion for that, I guess, which, again, I think I suck at. So I'm just going to pass it on over to you. What do you do to promote the various things that you do, Heather?
To promote anything, whether you have a business or you want to promote yourself as an individual, corporation, nonprofit, First thing you need to do is network. You got to put yourself out there. It's all by word of mouth. Then eventually, you basically have to go to social media because that's the way of the world now. You just have to be on social media. I'm on Facebook at CMY's Wonder Woman. I was on Instagram. I was actually on TikTok at one point. I've been on all of them. I couldn't keep track of them all, so I'm just on Facebook. That's the old people's social media site, according to my children. And again, it's engaging with the public. It's just like any business. If you want to promote yourself, you have to put yourself out there. I do find face-to-face interactions to be the best. Invest in some business cards, but really social media is the way.
So let's see. Another question that came up from something we talked about earlier is cosplay fails when you have a costume malfunction, which happens. You know, you're wearing a costume, especially if it's something you wear for the first time, but it can happen anytime. Also, once you wear it for a lot of times, and suddenly you need to fix something. So maybe you can talk about cosplay malfunctions and how you got past it, or any other kind of challenges you've had within cosplay. Maybe that's in the making or the getting out there, or whatever else it is. I just was out at the Emerald City Comic-Con in Seattle a couple weeks ago, and they had a LARPing event there where you kind of like do fighting and everything. So I was like, oh, I haven't actually done this. I do lightsaber dueling, but I haven't done LARPing before. So I was like, yeah, I'll join in. I had a good time. My brother and I did some dueling, and then at the end of it, I realized, oh, the heel on my boot is now missing. What do I do with that? Luckily, they had a cosplay first aid thing there, and they were able to glue that back on. But otherwise, I was going to be walking around kind of hobbling the whole time. One time, I wore my Stormtrooper uniform, where I was going to put it on at the Toronto Fan Expo. I brought it there, but wasn't wearing it yet. And I realized that I didn't have a belt, and a belt is a key thing. It holds up basically your thigh pieces for the Stormtrooper armor. So I had to like create a belt out of duct tape. It was not really the most amazing piece of craft work, maybe, but it still did the job. And I think that like that's what I find is really the key with a lot of cosplay malfunctions. It's like you do something that, like, maybe if someone else who really knows that costume looked at it, they'd be like, oh, well, that's not quite right. And you're like, well, no, it's not. but for 90% of people who are out there, they have no idea that you had to alter it in some way. And you managed to hopefully get past it. And I do think that for me, that's the biggest thing. Like, find some way to just enjoy the rest of the day, even if you have something that's not perfect, which is hard because like we spend so much time trying to make it perfect. You know, it's like hours and hours and hours and hours trying to get to that spot where it's like, I'm going to bring this out and display it to the public for the first time, and then something goes wrong, and then you're like, oh no, but actually no one else cares. like a 50% good whatever character is still 50% better than what anyone else seen that day, and they're just excited to see it. So any ideas or any examples of cosplay fails or ways you've gotten past things or challenges you've had?
Boy, that's an interesting question. Yeah, well, honestly, I think I had a whole hog of cosplay fails and malfunctions at the same time. Like, of course, when I went to Anime Boston back in 2017, one of the orbs, of course, one of the headpieces came off, so I had to head over to the cosplay repair station and get it fixed up. And I think from what I can recall, I think for one of my other Ruby cosplays I actually got, I literally had my cloak stuck in, of course, my mom's car at one point when we got back to the hotel, and it literally left a little mark, which thankfully was lucky enough for me to wash off, and I think that's probably to name me a few. So I guess either way, I think from what I can remember on the most part, if you actually have felt that something could use a little touch up here and there, definitely take the time to actually fix up your cosplay to make it better than ever, and maybe make some modifications to it, so that way you look at it and be like, wow, this is definitely much better than last time. So I think that really does help.
Bit of advice, if you're going to get into cosplay, you definitely need, and I've learned this from experience, I was at an event, there was a lot of people there, and I lost my skirt. I do have something on underneath the skirt, I'm just saying, but there's, I'm there and whoop, it just comes right off. And I had nothing with me. So what you're going to want to carry with you is a glue gun, duct tape. Those are like two critical things because they're great in a pinch, even some like safety pins. Otherwise, it's constant maintenance with outfits. You just have to constantly maintain them, touch them up, and work with the material and figure out what works for you. But if I can suggest anything, you need duct tape, hot glue, and bobby pins. Bobby pins or safety pins. And when it comes to your car, same thing. Duct tape and a hammer always makes it run.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for being here today. I want to thank Heather and Ben for talking on the panel. Now, from what I understand, there is a cosplay masquerade that's starting at 3:45. I don't actually know the details of that. Oh, here you are, right here. Okay, excellent.
Basically, they can get on stage and kind of like a 20, 30-second talk about their costume and stuff type of thing.
Okay, so they should just come up here?
They should just come right up here, yeah. So we'll have a line up here. I'll make another announcement to let people know that it's going on.
Okay, do you want me to just hold the mic?
Yeah, if you don't mind, sure.
Okay, all right. So again, for people who want to show off their cosplays, you're just going to come up here on stage. I'll give you the mic. You can talk about your costume, like 20 or 30 seconds. Just say why it's awesome, why you made it, why it's amazing, basically. That's our whole key here. Our idea is to show why you were amazing. So, who would like to come up first? Come on up. You with the lightsaber.
The Jedi is here.
Say your name, costume, and your character name.
So I'm Noah. This costume I got in 2017. My parents got it for me when I was going through a rough patch, and it really gave me the courage to kind of start getting into costuming. It is just a regular Jedi, but I am going to someday use this lightsaber to join the Rebel Legion and hopefully make a difference using my love for my craft and of this character and universe. So, yeah.
And I'm going to just keep Velcroing something for a second. Okay.
That's really great, and the Rebel Legion is a really great group, so that's awesome goals to have. Good luck. Anybody else who wants to come up on stage? Come on up.
Hello, my name is Jeff, and I play the character Rothgar in a LARP, live-action roleplay called Amtgard. It's a free event. You basically join a group that plays in a public park, and we swing foam. The way I describe it is it's like Overwatch, except you're playing a D&D character, and it's a lot of fun. It's called Amtgard, and basically I'm wearing a combination of stuff I got at Ren Fair, and this tunic was handmade.
All right, thank you. Anybody else wants to come up? Back there.
Cosplay, and I'm cosplaying Gen 3 Pull Refresh Dracula. I relate to her a lot in her perfectionism and anxiety when things go wrong. This is mostly pre-made clothing that I collected with a few handmade accessories.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody else who wants to come up on stage? Yes, come on up. So you can just tell us your name and your character and what you like about it.
My name is Ella, and I am Gertrude from I Hate Fairyland. And what I like about Gertrude is that she's really cool, and she is really, huh?
All right, awesome. Thank you. Great job. Anybody else wants to come up over there?
How we all doing? My name is Adam. I'm cosplaying as Joker from Persona 5. It's just a JRPG, so it's a video game. It's pretty cool.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Any other Jedi here? Or Sith, or whatever Force users you may be.
Hi, I'm cosplaying Anakin, and I think he's cool.
But he doesn't have the high ground.
Hello, I'm also cosplaying as Anakin, but as Dark Side Anakin, and What If He Was Never Burned? This cosplay is loosely based off of the unreleased Vader cosplay art from Battlefront 4. Please re-release everything that was canceled. Star Wars 1313 for life.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Anybody else out there want to come up? I see we have some Star Trek folks. Got a young lady here. You know you want to come up. You got a no face. I don't know what you are, but I've seen your costume. It looks cool. You should come up here too.
I'm Gina. I'm dressed as a Vulcan science officer from Star Trek, the original series.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody else? Oh, it's time for the peer pressure. Come on now. Your dad or other person that you're with who may not be your dad, I don't really know, but maybe dad. All I know is you look fantastic, so let's hear about your costume.
Well, this actually isn't a cosplay. I'm cosplaying my own character. It's a nighttime force witch. And fun fact, this is all from Hot Topic. Every bit of it. Other than shoes that I do not have with me right now, but it's all from Hot Topic. So you could probably just go on the website, find these items, and have the exact same outfit. I don't have a staff. I'm missing a staff.
You're missing a step. Oh, now I am so disappointed. I thought it was awesome, and now I'm crushed.
It's like this large crane staff that's gonna have ivy all around it, and then like a floating, glowing moon.
Okay, is that something you're working on right now?
Something I'm working on.
Okay. Well, I hope to see it at a future con. Awesome. Thank you. One good thing about this is I get to learn what characters are that I don't know what they are, so I've been seeing them all day long and now I get to find out. One panel that I really liked at Comic-Cons is where they have a panel of people who try to guess what your cosplay is, which, especially if you wear ones like mine that are obscure, can be really entertaining as they totally fail. But I think it's really hard. Like, you know, even if you are really, really into a lot of different kind of fandoms, like there's a lot of stuff out there and it's really hard to guess. Like, I have no idea what you are, but that was cool. Whatever, there are many things. So, I'm gonna expect you up here soon too, sir. No, I can come down to you.
You totally should.
Unfortunately, this wire will only get me about that far, but... Okay.
Hi, my name is Lily, and my costume is Hornet from the video game Hollow Knight. And I made it all myself, or took something, but I edited it.
Awesome, thank you. I really love that mask, that's really great. Anybody else? Oh, we have more cosplayers over there. Come on up. Yep, come on up. We're just having people come up on stage and talk about their costumes. You need to wait? Go send a messenger. Get the other people coming over here. We're only gonna do this so much longer. Send a text. Or just come up yourself, whatever you need to do. Anybody else out there?
You know what? I think I might as well.
Ben, you're gonna do it? All right, come on. You were sitting the whole time. Now it's time to stand.
Yeah, it's my time to stand, but anyways, I am in fact a gender bent version of Ruby Rose from Ruby, particularly my take on, of course, pretty much her minstrel outfit from volumes 4 and 7, to which this is actually one of many cosplays that I've actually worked on with my grandmother in particular, and I draw a lot of inspiration from one of my favorite cosplayers of all time, Megaloo Cosplay, who has also done Ruby, and I gotta say, for this to be around for about pretty much ever since 2019, since I first debuted it, I really think this is definitely one of my best ones that I've actually done by far.
Awesome, thank you. And I think it's super cool you do it with your grandmother. I really like the way people work with different generations. Like I've worked with my kids, for instance. Come on up, No Face. But yeah, like doing cosplay with my kids or doing it with your parents and grandparents is really great. Here you go.
My name is Jackson, and I'm cosplaying as No Face from the movie Spirited Away. And yeah.
All right, thank you very much. That was awesome. Anybody else out there? Let's see, we got Nightwing back there. You want to come up here? Oh yeah, that's right. All right, your group is ready? Okay, we'll have Nightwing first and then you guys after that. All right, now we're ready for some DC Mania, 2 in a row. Just like your name, your character, what you like about it, stuff like that.
Hi, my name is Dylan. I'm dressed up as Nightwing. Nightwing's my favorite DC character.
All right, thank you very much. All right. The group. So here, so again, like your name, your characters, and you guys, you can talk about maybe like why you chose to, like I don't know if you're like officially a group or just like happen to kind of all have be in similar costumes. Maybe talk about why you're a group, that kind of thing.
We are the villains of the Teen Titans. We all came together for a cause to kidnap Raven over here, and here she is. That's it.
Anything else from the rest of you?
I am very hungry.
My name's Crow. I'm cosplaying Jinx, whose powers are from bad luck for obvious reasons.
Thank you. You too?
Hi, my name's Violet. I'm cosplaying Raven. And I'm really happy to be here. And you all look really good in your cosplays too.
Hello, I'm a person, and I'm cosplaying Ravager from Titans or something. That's all I know.
All right, awesome, thank you. Anybody else out there who hasn't come up? We've got our last peer pressure person here. Will be the only one who manages to hold back against the enormous degree of like audience desire to see you up on the stage. No, you will not. You will not succumb. All right, so I think then that is probably everybody we've got in this vicinity. Is that right? All right. So again, I'll just say for mine, I am Phil Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. I forget the episode number, but there was one episode. They go back in time to the 70s, and everybody then is wearing these really cheesy S.H.I.E.L.D. uniforms that look terrible. So I made a copy of those really cheesy S.H.I.E.L.D. uniforms from the 70s. That's what I'm wearing here today. With that, everybody have a good day. I have leaflets for the Comic-Con I'm doing in April. You should all come because it's free. Yes? Am I sure they're not pajamas? They could be underoos. Maybe a slightly upgraded version of underoos, yes. All right, so I think that's it. Everybody have a good day. Thank you.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyTackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is AckleyTack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyTackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.